Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a small, happy family with a kind and beautiful daughter. Sadly, her mother passed away early, leaving the father and daughter to rely on each other for comfort. After some time, the father remarried a beautiful but cunning woman who had 2 daughters of her own. When the father passed away, the stepmother and stepsisters revealed their cruel nature, turning the girl into a servant in her own home. She was forced to do all the household chores, from cleaning to cooking and washing. They treated her like a lowly servant, making her sleep on the floor near the fireplace, covered in soot. Because of this, they mockingly called her Cinderella. Despite their mistreatment, Cinderella remained kind-hearted and optimistic. One day, the king announced a grand ball so the prince could find a bride. Every girl in the kingdom was invited. The stepmother and stepsisters were overjoyed and spent days preparing their lavish dresses for the event. However, they forbade Cinderella from attending, mocking her and saying someone as dirty and lowly as her could never go. After they left for the ball, Cinderella sat alone, crying in despair. At that moment, a fairy godmother appeared. She said, "My dear child, don't cry. I will help you go to the ball." Using her magic, the fairy godmother transformed a pumpkin into a magnificent golden carriage, 6 mice into horses, 1 mouse into a coachman, and 6 lizards into footmen. She then turned Cinderella's ragged clothes into a stunning shimmering blue gown complete with sparkling glass slippers. Before she left, the fairy godmother warned, "The magic will wear off at midnight. Be sure to return home before the clock strikes 12. At the ball, Cinderella's beauty and grace mesmerized everyone. The prince was immediately captivated by her and asked her to dance. They spent the entire evening together, and the prince paid no attention to anyone else. Lost in the magic of the moment, Cinderella forgot the time. As the clock began to strike midnight, she panicked and fled the palace, leaving behind one of her glass slippers. The prince picked up the glass slipper and declared that he would marry the girl whose foot fit the slipper perfectly. The next day, he sent his guards throughout the kingdom to try the slipper on every young woman. When the guards arrived at Cinderella's house, the stepsisters eagerly tried on the slipper, but it did not fit. The stepmother hid Cinderella away, but with the help of the fairy godmother, she appeared just in time. When the glass slipper fit Cinderella perfectly, everyone was astonished. The prince personally came to take her to the palace. Cinderella and the prince had a grand wedding celebration. The stepsisters, filled with regret, begged for her forgiveness. Because of her kind heart, Cinderella forgave them. She and the prince lived happily ever after. The moral of the story. This story emphasizes the values of kindness, optimism, and belief in justice. Even when faced with cruelty and hardship, Cinderella never lost her good nature and was ultimately rewarded with the happiness she